So my name's Diana Ward. I am the Director of Sales and Marketing here at Gulf Coast Memory Care. And my main, role here is to go out into the community, talk about our community and what we have to offer, educate the community on what does memory care look like? How do we help give those that live here the highest quality of life for the longest period of time, and just go out and talk to hospitals and skilled nursing facilities and rehabs and just let them know what we have to offer here. And then when somebody is interested in our community, they'll come to the community. I'll show them around, show them the different rooms that we have to offer, introduce them to our team, and just show them how amazing our community is.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so Gulf Coast Memory Care is a memory care community. And what do you think sets that apart from other senior living communities in the area?
So we are the only standalone memory care community in Estero. We're not the only one in all of Southwest Florida, obviously, but there aren't a lot of the standalone communities out there. So what that means is many of the senior living communities out here have independent living on the same campus, along with assisted living on the same campus, as well as memory care. So you can walk into a lot of these communities out here, and don't get me wrong, they're magnificent, but they're overwhelming. There's like, you walk in and there's so much going on, and they're huge, and there's just, hundreds of people. And I feel like, especially the seniors, they can kind of get lost in the shuffle of that. And also the staff isn't necessarily all trained to deal with the different aspects of dementia and the behaviors, and it does take a specialized training to deal with and help those with dementia. So I love our community because that's all we do. We only have memory care residents here. We're a standalone building that was built purposely for memory care. So the layout, the design of the community, the rooms, it just flows, and it is just, that's all we do. We specialize in it, and we are all specially trained to help those that live with dementia.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that you guys are all trained specifically for memory care. If, let's say, I or someone I know is looking to put a loved one in this community, what would they be looking for? What should they look for when they are choosing a community?
I think one of the number one things is when you first walk in, how clean is it? And how does it smell? So aesthetically, you're looking for how nice is the community, but even more important, than that is the care staff. So, and the whole entire team, actually, how do they interact with the residents? Are the residents engaged in activities, not just sitting in a room doing nothing? Are the team and caregivers specially trained? Again, like I mentioned, myself and the executive director here, we are certified dementia practitioners, which just means that we took a higher level of training to, really understand, how to redirect those that live with dementia, how to engage them, what to look for. So when you do walk into a community, I think number one is to really see how the residents look. Are there underneath their nails clean? Are their teeth clean? Are they clean? Which just shows the level of care, as well as how is the team engaging with them.
Yeah, it's just nice to know that your loved one is being taken care of.
Absolutely. And I think here too, we're all passionate about what we do. We want to be here. We love what we do. So we take great pride. I may be the director of sales and marketing, but I actually go in and I will help get somebody dressed. I will help feed them. So our roles here, we may have these titles. It really doesn't mean anything. We are all here for the residents, and we truly care about them. And when they move in, they are honestly like family. The residents are like family as well as their family members. They come in and we're all a part of one big family here.
Yeah, yeah. I love to hear that. Yeah. So could you describe to me what a typical day looks like for the residents?
Sure. We have a pretty serious structure here and routine, but truly that's what those living with dementia need. They need that routine and consistency. So we get them up around 6 a.m. Breakfast is at 8 a.m. Then we immediately after breakfast, we start, engaging activities, whether it be a morning stretch, seated exercises. And then we do snacks at 10 a.m. And then after snacks, we do another activity. And then promptly at noon is lunch. And then we usually in the afternoons bring in outside volunteers or different things. So we have therapy dogs come in. We've actually had a therapy miniature horse come in.
Oh,
So we do
wow.
some interesting things here. It's so much fun. So we always have we have performers come in and sing, dance. I mean, it's endless. So after lunch we usually do an activity, then we have another snack at 2 p.m. And again, we'll do other activities after snack, and then dinner is at 5. And then after dinner, we try to start winding them down because there's a thing called sundowning
Yeah.
and it's real. Afternoons, we usually see that come about. You can see the residents' temperaments kind of change. They get a little bit more irritable because it's very interesting in their brains. The functionality that tells them what time of day it is off. So they get a little confused, and that again is why we are so structured and routines here. So we really try to start winding them down to get ready for bed. After dinner, we'll play softer music, we'll dim the lights, start their evening routine, maybe getting them into pajamas, brushing their teeth. So it's we keep them busy, but also things that are going to help slow the progression of dementia and keep them active and engaged.
Yeah, that's good to have that structure there. And I did see that calendar. You guys make a monthly calendar of all the events you do per day, and it's just packed full.
Yes, it is. I look at it and I get a little tired. I'm like, "Ooh." But and the thing about memory care is, you see that calendar and sometimes it can be overwhelming, but we allow the residents, this is still their home. They still have choices and options, and we don't ever force them to do anything. Just like you or I, we may have an off day and maybe this afternoon I'm a little sleepy. So we encourage them to do things, but we never force them. I mean, this is their home, and we allow them to do what feels right for them.
Yeah, exactly. And they have to feel comfortable too. So
Yes, exactly.
okay. So what would you say the family experience is like?
Well, again, when the resident moves in, this is a family journey. The family is grieving. Their family member is still here physically, but mentally they're slowly leaving them. So it's a long drawn out grieving process. So that we have to understand that, and also be there for the family members and allow them to be as involved as they would if their loved one was at home with them. So they are welcome into this community day or night, anytime. They don't need to make an appointment. They also, when the resident moves in, they will sit down with our director of healthcare and go over the care plan for the resident. And we need the family's input. The family knows that person better than we do. We eventually get to know them pretty well, but the family is so important in setting up that care plan and knowing, what makes my mom happy, what kind of foods does she like, what does she not like. So we really get the families involved in the care and the planning and everything. So they're welcome here as much as the residents are.
Good, good. Yeah, that's good to hear too. So do you have like a specific success story that you think is worth sharing?
Yeah, my success story is a little bit sad, but there is a silver lining because, dementia is a sad disease. You know, unfortunately, we get them, you know, in the decline stage, and, you know, we do see them through the end of their life. So, you know, we have our hard days, but just recently we had a resident pass, and the family member came back to, you know, pick up their belongings. And again, we're as involved with the families as the residents. So we get to know the family members really well. So it's some heartbreak at times too. But what the son said when he, the mom we did send to the hospital, he was by her bedside when she passed, and he was holding her hand, and he looked down at her hand, and her nails were painted by us. And he said that's probably the first time in 20 years he had seen her nails painted, and she looked so beautiful and peaceful. And he said that he knew when she passed that, you know, while she was here with us, she was loved and cared for, and not sitting at home alone, passing by herself with no one to really be there for her. So he was really grateful that we took such good care of her and had taken the time out to paint her nails.
Yeah, that's really sweet. And you
Now,
said it had been 20 years since she.
yeah, he said she never got her nails painted, which I thought was
Yeah.
interesting, but he said that stood out to her and just showed how much we cared about her. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really sweet. Yeah. What is some feedback that you guys receive, and when you receive it, how do you put that into action at Gulf Coast Memory Care?
Well, every morning the leadership team meets. And so if any of us have either input from the families or ideas or suggestions that any of us have, or things we've seen that we might need to improve upon, we literally meet every single morning about our residents, about the, you know, the community, the team, everything. So we're constantly looking at how we can improve or change. And we have open door policies. I mean, all of our offices are literally in the community, doors open. We're not off to the side in a hidden little spot that even the residents can't access, or the family members. So we have open door policies. The family members are constantly in and out all day. They stop in our office, they give us feedback. And so we're always open to that, because we know we're not perfect, but we're constantly striving to be better, do better. So we're constantly looking at everything, as well as open to the family members coming in. We have family night once a month, and that's a big dinner and celebration, maybe themed depending on what the month is. Like last month we did a family luau. So we actually had, yeah, we had Polynesian dancers come in. It was so amazing. We had Hawaiian food, you know, the whole theme, the decorations. Um, and so that's for the families to come in, eat meals with their loved ones as well as us. And we're all the leadership and all this, you know, team is there to engage with the families. And, you know, that's a good time for them to say, hey, I noticed this or that. So we always invite feedback from the families, and they come in all the time, every day. So
yeah, that's reassuring. So
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are some special programs that you have there that the residents can be a part of?
Well, one of the main ones that I think is really important is our partnership with Select Rehab. So Select Rehab has an office here in our community, and they do physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy with all of our residents. So, which I love, because number one, they can do it in their own home. They don't have to go anywhere or go outside to a different, you know, office to do that. And the other part of that that's great is she actually gets to immerse herself with the resident when they're eating. So occupational therapy is about helping them to do their activities of daily living. So she gets to sit with them while they eat to make sure, you know, they're able to continue being as independent as possible, feed themselves, toileting. She actually goes in and helps them toilet. They walk the halls as she's, you know, doing physical therapy with them. So that's right here for them. And it's great because they don't have to go anywhere. The other part of that is she bills their insurance just like any other, you know, physical therapist would, but they don't have to leave the building. So that's really important. The other thing is we bring in third-party providers to see all of our residents. So that includes primary care doctors, psychiatry, podiatry, dermatology, dental, if they need an x-ray. We also have home health care that comes in. So literally we bring everything to them. Not only is that convenient, it just really helps so that we don't have to take them outside of the community, which is very stressful for somebody with dementia. They're already a little bit confused, and then you take them outside of their normal setting to go see a doctor and all that. It's really tough on them. So we bring everything to them so they don't have to leave for any appointments.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make someone feel more comfortable too. If they just come to you, like you said, they're in their own home and their own environment, nothing looks for them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Awesome. So how do you think the team at Gulf Coast Memory Care's passion and dedication affects everybody?
Well, I think we put the residents first, no matter what we're doing. So, and I feel that we are all here because we want to be here and we love what we do, which helps because, like I said, we don't care about titles here. I mean, I may have a title of director of sales and marketing, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's all about the residents and what's doing best for them, making their home as enjoyable, as safe as can be. And we are all here to serve them. I always say, this isn't a building that I come to go to work. I am actually a guest in their home. This whole building is their home. So we treat them with the utmost dignity and respect and help them to live the best life that they can for as long as they're here. And so we're here to serve them. And I think that all of us feel that, and it shows through in what we do every day. Because like I said, some days are hard because we have somebody that passes away or that gets, really sick or whatnot. And we're with the residents and their families during a really difficult time. But we all love what we do and we're passionate about it. And it really shows because, we all want to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. So going back, what kinds of qualifications does everybody have?
So before anybody can start working here, we do, it's called MyALF, which ALF stands for Assisted Living Facility. We don't like the word facility because it's kind of sounds more of like a hospital. We are a community, but nonetheless, that's the name of it. So every single person, no matter if you're just maintenance or whatever, takes the MyALF training, which just goes over, again, how do you interact with somebody that lives with dementia, what to look for, the signs and symptoms, and, challenging behaviors, how to redirect. And then myself and our executive director, Jerry, took it a step above and we became certified dementia practitioners. Our next, which we don't have to, but we want to, our next step is for him and I to become trainers so that we can train the rest of our team to become certified dementia practitioners as well. So we all get the training, but we take it a step above.
That's awesome. Yeah. That makes all of the children of the residents and their families feel really good too. And it's awesome that you guys will be able to just train in-house, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our goal. So we're getting there. Yep.
Yeah. So could you explain how you make Gulf Coast Memory Care a secure environment?
Excuse me. Yes. So all of our exterior doors, you need a badge or a code. So even just for the family members to come visit, we have to let them in with a code. As well as, employees, we all have a badge to let us in. So the exterior doors, again, you have specialized access, not just anybody can come or go. So even for us to leave, we have to use our badge or a code. So, but the nice thing about that is we have 3 courtyards in the center of our community that the residents or family too can go out, and we have walkways. We have a little putting golf course. We have our grill. We have patio chairs. So our residents and families can go outside, but it's secure so that they, number one, they don't feel like they're, kind of trapped or, but they can go outside without us fearing that they're going to walk down the street and get lost.
Right. Well, you said you have a little putting area.
Yeah,
yeah. I did not
it's
know
really
that.
cute. I know, it's so nice.
Are there just golf clubs, or how do you get putting? Okay.
Yeah, there's some golf clubs. Our activities director usually does things with them. You know, they'll have a day where they'll come out and do that, or they'll come outside and do other activities. So we definitely utilize all of these spaces. And thank goodness we live in Florida and the weather's pretty nice. So we're always outside as much as possible anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over here in Iowa, so the weather this morning, I had my sweater on and it was like 50 degrees this morning. It was cold.
Oh gosh. No, I'm actually kind of warm right now. It's on average 90 degrees out here all the time.
Yeah, that must be
But
nice.
it's nice. Yeah.
All right. So how do you guys personalize each resident's needs?
So prior to them moving into our community, we have some forms that they fill out, and it's called the life portrait. So the family member fills it out and it is detailed. Like, what do they like to eat? What do they not like to eat? What clothes do they like to wear? What activities do they like? What activities do they not like? I mean, and then it goes even over the history, like how many children do they have? Where were they born? Where were they raised? What education do they have? I mean, it's super detailed. So the family member fills that out first and foremost, and we all review it. And then once the resident does move in, the family member and the resident do sit down with our director of healthcare, and she creates a personalized care plan that will go in the system and inform all the care team as to, you know, what needs to take place. You know, do they have dentures? Do they wear hearing aids? I mean, it gets really specific as to what their needs are, how are we to assist them, and what are they independent in? We don't want to do something for them that they are able to do themselves. So we want to keep them as independent as possible, keep doing the things that they can do. It makes them feel good about themselves, as well as, you know, the phrase use it or lose it. You know, we don't want to take away things that they can do that will cause them to decline even quicker in their progression of the disease. So we really personalize their whole care plan when they're here. And that can change too. So we review those monthly. We sit down with the family members, you know, as often as they want. If something changes in their health, we'll revisit that. We have doctors and nurse practitioners come in. They evaluate them as well. You know, maybe there was a change in their medical status, or, you know, so we're constantly, honestly, almost every day looking at our residents. And, you know, every meal, one of our directors and leadership has to be in that meal room with them, in the dining room. And so that allows us to, you know, keep our eyes on them, look at them. You know, maybe Joe is looking a little off today, and I might bring that up to the director of healthcare. Hey, he seems a little off, you know, what's going on with them? And then maybe that means we have to test him for a UTI, because those are actually quite common, and UTIs can affect their mental status. So maybe they seem a little off. Okay, we'll bring that up to the medical team, and they'll, you know, test them for a UTI, or, you know, whatever the case. So we're constantly looking at them every day.
Yeah, that's another reassuring thing that you guys do. So that's good. What is your favorite thing about the community?
Oh, my favorite thing about the community is the residents, of course. I mean, they really do become part of our family. I love interacting with them. That's the other thing, is each of us in leadership do an activity with the residents once a month. So my activity that I get to do, I do it with the ladies, and we have a tea party.
Oh.
So I go all out. They have tiaras. Everything is in pink. We have an actual fancy tea set. I bring in teas, and sometimes I'll grab some little cakes or scones. We go all out here. So I love doing stuff like that. I like, you know, interacting with the residents every day. I'll dance, I'll sing with them. And that's the fun part of having our offices as part of the community, is we're constantly interacting with them all day. But each director gets to do an activity with them. So Jerry has beer with the boys. So
Ooh.
he actually, I mean, sometimes it's non-alcoholic beer, depending on what the doctors say,
Yeah.
but for the most part it is. But he'll get some non-alcoholic beer, sit down with them, and the boys just talk boy stuff, you know. So it's just super fun to get to know them on a personal level and interact. And you know, the family nights that we have, we all get up and dance, you know, the luau and the Polynesian dancers. It was just so much fun. So, you know, it's just a privilege to be able to be a part of their lives, and they allow us to be a part of, you know, their families' lives. So that's the best part.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun.
It is.
That tea party too, I bet they love
Yeah,
that.
it's so fun. And I pretend that I have an English accent, even though I'm horrible at it. Everybody makes fun of me, but you know,
It's the
the
thought that
tea and
counts.
crumpets we have. So it's super fun.
That is fun. Going back again to kind of what you look for in a community, when families come in to a tour, when they schedule a tour, what are some of the main things that you like to show them and tell them?
Well, I take them throughout the whole community. I want them to, again, see what we're doing with the residents. So they get to see an activity in action. They get to see the team interacting with the residents. And then I show them a couple of the rooms to show them, you know, what does our community look like? What do the rooms look like? You know, our building was built for memory care. So I point out the different aspects of the community, like the layout of the community. Our whole community is laid out in like a figure 8. So you can't really get lost. I mean, the residents can wander the halls all day, every day, and they won't get lost. It'll all come back to the common areas. We have many, many common areas with TVs. We have an art room. We have just nice sitting areas for the residents to come, or the family members of the residents to come sit down with them. So I show them how it's laid out. I show them the dining room, how that's laid out. Everything we do is with intent. So we have 2 dining rooms. One's for the residents that need a little bit more assistance eating, and then the other dining room is for those that are more independent, so they feel like they're among their peers. So I point out those types of things, that everything we do is with intent, and I show them our courtyards that are beautiful so that they can see, you know, our residents can go outside too and be safe. And then really, I love sitting down with the families and getting to know, you know, what is their loved ones' needs, what are the family's needs, and go over what we can help them with. I mean, they come to us in a time of distress and in a time of grief, really. And so I'm here to walk them through that journey, point out what it's going to look like, the next steps. And, you know, part of my background is actually mental health. I have a master's degree in psychology. So I think that helps me to understand, you know, what they're going through. This is a really difficult time for them. So I can empathize and, again, meet them where they're at, comfort them, and let them know that, you know, we're here to take over those difficult times and care for their loved one. And then they can get back to being the son or the daughter or the wife or the husband instead of the caregiver. So let us do it. We're the professionals. We'll take the care, and then you get to come back and have fun with your family member again.
Yeah. Yeah, because that, I assume, gets really frustrating for the family member. Like, there's so many mixed emotions that are going to come with that.
Yeah, they do. They come to us and they're literally at their wits' end. You know, they've been trying to care for their mom or dad or husband or wife or whatever. And they realize it is hard. And so that relationship has been drastically changed into the caregiver instead of, you know, this is my wife. I've loved her for, you know, 50 years, and now I'm having to care for her. And, you know, she might not remember who I am anymore, and her temperament has changed. And so they're really come to us at a very sad time. So I like to reassure them that it's okay. You know, you're doing the right thing. We're going to take care of your loved one. You know, the day and night type care, and then you get to stop by whenever you want. We have a private dining room here, so I always say, hey, come bring you know, a cake for their birthday, and you can be in the private dining room, and it's a beautiful setting. And or bring all your other family members. Maybe it's your anniversary party. You know, you can still celebrate those things and have fun with them instead of being the caregiver.
Yeah. What do you guys do for birthdays?
Well, we do a cake. and we sing happy birthday, and then we usually get like balloons and stuff and put, either on a chair or their wheelchair, walker, or whatever, so we do that for them. But we obviously do open up, the different private dining rooms for the family members too. If they want to do something private, we obviously totally support that. So
yeah, that's good.
yeah.
That's awesome. We've talked about this a little bit too, because you were saying the schedules are going to be changing because the residents' memories are changing. So how do you guys adjust when there is one of those changes?
Well, again, we might need to bring in a third party person. So that could be home health care. So that would mean that they get additional supports in any type of medical things that might be changing with them. We also we can adjust their care plan. The director of healthcare will review that again with the medical team or the family. If they need additional supports, do we need to bring in physical therapy, occupational therapy? So all those things are here for them, and we will adjust accordingly depending on, what the recommendations are. The other thing is, as the disease progresses, they don't ever have to leave here. So we can bring in hospice or palliative care as well. So, again, we're here to support them in their activities of daily living, but, again, maybe they need just a little bit higher level of support. Again, we'll bring in those outside things to help support them if need be, and they don't ever have to leave all the way to the end.
Yeah, that's nice that you guys have all those resources.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what are some common misconceptions about memory care? There's got to be a few.
Oh, yeah, there's so many. So I think a lot of people, especially when they come visit our community, they're surprised. It feels like home. It's not a hospital. That's why we don't really like the word facility, because I think that automatically gives like a negative stigma to it, because we aren't like a hospital or a facility. It definitely feels like home here. The other thing is I think they think that our residents just sit here doing nothing, staring at the walls. Not at all. We keep them super busy. We're doing exercises, painting, drawing. We have spa days where we'll do the ladies' nails and gentlemen's too, of course. Um, uh, we're keeping them so busy. We have luau's, we have ice cream parties. The residents actually get to bake. Today they're making homemade marinara sauce. I mean, crazy stuff. So we're constantly keeping them busy. We do a gardening class, so we actually are growing real vegetables and gardening. You name it. We bring in therapy dogs. We bring in singers and performers, and I mean, they don't just sit here at all. We keep them very engaged. It's like a big party here, pretty much all day long. So yeah, that's a common myth that they're just going to walk in and they're going to be doing nothing. Not at all. We keep them busy.
Yeah, that's funny. Like to think about families that are going to come visit, because there's an activity going all the time, right? Like you said, so they can come in and see the activity.
Yeah, the families can join in too. I mean, that's just it. That anything that we're doing here, the families are always welcome. And I think that speaks to how our care is and what we have to offer. We don't have the family only come at certain times. We're open to them being here, engaging in anything that we're doing. I mean, they're part of the family too. So we invite anybody to come visit at any time. We'd love to show them what we do here.
Yeah. So what is a message that you would give to families that are considering memory care for their loved one?
I would say, I know it's a really difficult decision, and I know there's a lot of guilt that the family members feel like they're, giving up on their family member. But they're truly not. They're truly giving their family member a gift. And that gift is allowing us, the professionals that are trained to care for your loved one, let us take over, give yourself a break, and go back to being the daughter, the son, the wife, the husband. And you'll see that not only is that great for the family member to get back to being, that role that they're used to being and allowing us to be the caregiver, but you'll also see your family member enjoying themselves too, because everything we have to offer here, the activities, the interaction, the psychosocial aspect of having other people around for them to talk to, really will help slow the progression of the dementia. You know, a lot of family members, they do the best they can. Again, they're not, you know, trained and professionals in dealing with this, but you know, oftentimes they come to us and they say, "Oh, dad just sits there all day in front of the TV." And so again, that's just not, it's not healthy for their loved one, and it definitely doesn't help slow the progression. And they may still have it in them to where, you know, they come here and they're gardening again, and we're here to assist them to do that, whereas a family member might need to leave to go to work during the day or have other children that they need to care for. So here we can take over. We will get them engaged in life again in a safe, secure environment, because that's what we do here and we're professionals at it. So just, you know that you're making the right decision for your loved one.
Yeah. Yeah.